What is a video game without levels? Well, it's an open world game, but an open world is a level, all right? Let's just regard different areas in a game as levels. A video game is nothing without levels. And today, we're going to talk about some of the best. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 20 game levels that are legendary for a reason. Starting off with number 20, it's the Silent Cartographer from Halo. When you think of the original Halo Combat Evolved, you probably imagine its most iconic level, the Silent Cartographer. If there's a level we wanted to replay when this game first came out and we beat it, it was this one. No boring cutscenes, no linear sections to stop us from doing what we wanted. This stage is set on a massive island full of enemies you can tackle however you want. It's one big sandbox, and the freestyle form of Halo's combat is what makes this game so freaking good. Games like Halo Infinite tried to replicate that open world feeling from the original Halo, but without the careful level design, and that's why we'll always keep coming back to the Silent Cartography. Don't ask what this mission was about or why we needed to locate some MacGuffin. It's probably about a map or something. It doesn't matter. Because the gameplay and that feeling of total immersive freedom, that's what we'll always remember most. Flying onto the beach with your Marine buddies and taking on alien Covenant fortifications, then grabbing a Warthog to spin wheelies while your AI friends blaze away with the mounted minigun. It's kind of the high that everyone's been chasing since the Halo series debuted.
It looks like there is a path into the interior of the island.
And number 19 is the Raccoon City Police Station from Resident Evil 2. The Spencer Mansion is one of the most iconic locations in any video game, and it kicked off an entire genre of imitators and copycats, but for our money, the Raccoon City Police Station is even better. On the surface, it makes no sense. It's a boring office and a beautiful architectural marvel packed with weird mechanical tricks and insane puzzles that can't possibly be up to code in a government facility. But hey, it doesn't have to make sense. Even if the lore tries to explain all the silliness by saying that the police station was a converted art museum, in a game where there's a skyscraper-sized secret lab being constructed directly beneath the police station with nobody noticing, fine, we'll suspend our disbelief. What makes the police station so fun is how it feels like a puzzle sandbox. Exploration has tangible rewards, and the remake somehow makes the police station feel even more real and tactile. There's lockers in the armory you can return to claim useful items throughout your journey. So many puzzles you'll encounter have to be solved later. It's never too difficult to find solutions, and the map is just so incredibly detailed, you'll never get lost even if the station is built like a maze. And we haven't even talked about Mr. X, the giant gray guy that chases you around. That's the true iconic stalker of the Resident Evil series. Hearing his giant lumbering boots stomping around just outside as he searches for Leon is a scary memory seared into our brains forever. And number 18 is Fort Frolic. Right in the middle of BioShock, you're locked into a true shopping nightmare with Fort Frolic, one of the most detailed and fun locations in a game full of amazing levels. BioShock brings the heat in its shopping center thanks to an incredibly memorable villain and a whole lot of unique places to explore. It's the biggest, most detailed, and most fun level to pick apart. You'll find theaters and clothing stores and clubs that tell a story about the decadent underwater city of Rapture and how it all fell apart. But we're suckers for a good mall level. The world building here is off the charts good. Each fancy shop has yet another location you want to pick through with a fine-tooth comb while avoiding mutant splicers. It's a surreal experience conducted by demented artist Sander Cohen, a freak that wants help constructing a new and very grim art piece. Cohen's a memorable character for being so deranged and being one of the few bad guys you don't have to kill at the end of the level. Of course, we blew him up anyway after taking his rewards. One of the most fun aspects of this level is also your new tool, the camera that completely changes BioShock and forces you to play in a different way. It's not just for making memories, it also saves data of whatever you take pictures of, giving you special bonuses, all sorts of stuff like that. It's a mechanic that only got expanded on in Bioshock 2, and it's one of those brilliant features that's both simple and fun to play around with. Fort Frolic's kind of the peak of Bioshock game design, and that's really saying something for a game with so many iconic levels.
No need to thank me for jamming the transmissions of those boors, Atlas and Ryan. Let them have their squabble. The artist, yes, the artist knows there is richer earth to till.
And number 17 is the bombing mission in Final Fantasy VII. The opening bombing mission is one of the most iconic tutorials in video game history. It gets one of the most lavish sequences in the Final Fantasy VII remake. Back during the initial release, the CGI opening, cutting directly to your blocky, low-poly characters, was a thrill, and the new vision captures the same sense of energy. The combination of music and the design of everything really keeps the pace up.
You double-crossing!
Heads up.
What in the hell?
Like, you don't really need to know what's going on. All you need to know is you're on a big, important mission. The Mako reactor location itself is an incredible piece of graphic design, and the big robot boss fight at the end, it is a super memorable monster in the Final Fantasy pantheon. It's just really solid. It's a very memorable opening to an absolutely legendary game. It's the kind of opening Final Fantasy games haven't really any RPG. It's grounded in a way most of these games are not, and it's just super exciting, pulling off essentially a criminal enterprise, but also kind of like a heist, but also kind of like the Death Star run with this gang of ragtag rebels. It all ends in a countdown timer, an escape that is just the cherry on the video game sundae. We're still talking about the bombing mission for a reason, and it's the reason Square Enix put so much effort into recreating it for the remake. It had to be perfect. And number 16 is the museum in Batman Arkham City. Arkham City pulls off the impossible by seemingly improving everything that Arkham Asylum did so well. When it comes to the best level in the series, we might have to go with the museum. This stately building's converted into a giant death trap by a reimagined Penguin, a nemesis that has always been considered a bit of a big joke before Arkham City. He's recently become a fan favorite thanks to more portrayals that are a little more serious, like the Batman. Arkham City revitalized the character by making him a whole lot more ruthless.
Hold still, boy. No!
And you'll quickly encounter that side of him in the museum. The museum starts with a fight club thing where prospective inmates can join the gang by beating each other to a pulp. That leads to a series of puzzles and choices as Batman's navigating increasingly difficult rooms, either fighting goons hand-to-hand or sneaking around and taking out armed assailants from the shadows. That perfect gameplay loop of melee, stealth, and exploration is what makes Arkham City so ridiculously fun. And the museum's probably the perfect example of how everything works together when it's working together, when it's doing what it's supposed to do. The game doesn't even jump the shark when a literal great white hunts Batman in a giant flooded showroom. Of course, Penguin feeds his enemies to a shark. Why wouldn't he?
Sorry, Batman. Did I forget to mention my little friend down there? Maiden Tiny. Who'd have thought a big fish could be so useful? Not me, that's for sure.
And number 15 is Wolverines from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. This series has too many iconic levels to count, but we're skipping over the obvious choice to select a level that might be our personal favorite. All Gillied Up is a fan favorite and one of the better ones of all time, but we've talked about that one too much, so let's talk about Wolverines from the original Modern Warfare 2 because it's legendary. Yes, the title is totally a reference to the 80s Soviet invasion movie Red Dawn. It's set during the invasion of the East Coast by Russian forces, obviously fictional.
Overlord, this is Hunter 2-1, requesting air support, over. Hunter 2-1, all air support is already engaged.
but you're tasked with fighting through suburban neighborhoods before pulling off an intense defense mission in a boring little strip mall parking lot. The mundane location is what makes it feel so special and personal. If you've ever lived in America, and most of you have, I know I have, but you've been to locations exactly like the Burger Town and the connecting gas stations next to the overpass. The escalation is what makes this mission so intense, starting with brief probing attacks against your defenses and descending into pure chaos as you desperately sprint across the open tarmac to stop a column of tanks. The premise makes no sense, the plot's off the rails, but the gameplay is better than ever in terms of Call of Duty.
Ramirez, the convoy is just to the south of Burger Town. Get your ass over here. Move!
And number 14 is Blight Town from Dark Souls. It's everything we love and hate about Dark Souls. These games are about friction. They're difficult enough to prickle that part of your brain that makes you want to keep trying over and over again. Blight Town might be the purest example of that friction. It's a dark, poisonous shanty town hanging over a bottomless pit. It's packed with small monsters that ambush you from impossible-to-reach locations as you try to cross precarious bridges full of even more deadly enemies. It's frankly a nightmare to navigate, and the original version ran significantly worse in this area than anywhere else in the game. Dropping to the lowest range of double digits while you're exploring one of the most frustrating locations in video game history. Such an evil place that's found so early in Dark Souls, it's spawned its own legend as a meme-worthy location. And yes, there's a giant poison swamp at the bottom of Blight Town, as if this place wasn't bad enough. But there are bright sides. It isn't just legendary because it's bad, it's also an ingeniously elaborate location with multiple secret paths and alternate entrances. You can literally skip all of Blight Town with the right shortcut. There's nothing you really need there anyway. It's a location that's both incredibly loosely designed and insanely tightly constructed. It's FromSoft at the height of their level designing powers, before bosses became so optimized and everything had a strict use. Sometimes it's nice to explore a location that's kind of a mess. Now, Blight Town is fun because it's unfair, but you can also be unfair right back at it. And number 13 is One Card Left to Play from Max Payne 3. The least good Max Payne is still a very good game, and it has some of the most memorable emotional levels in the series. It's not as beloved as the first two games, but it gives us one of the biggest gunfights in any video game ever in its final chapter. Max is on the run from the paramilitary police in Brazil and is chasing down an evil politician before he can escape the country. Instead of sneaking through the airport, Max goes straight through the central terminal and takes on swarms of gunmen in a very public location. The airport and the terminal itself is a massive two-story location with tons of cover and the longest sightlines in the series. You'll have to carefully fight your way through an army of heavily armored bad guys while an awesome soundtrack propels us forward. It's an effective moment in a game full of cinematic action, and for this single shootout alone, we think it's a legendary level. There's a lot more going on in this chapter, including a train gunfight and a battle against a guy in a grenade launcher, but that airport terminal gunfight, man, it's legendary. number 12 is the facility in GoldenEye 007. We're talking old school here. It's one of the most iconic levels on the Nintendo 64 console, period. GoldenEye 007 had a lot of levels we played as tiny, tiny children. The facility just felt the most complete. It's the second level in the game. It drops James Bond into a level that looks super basic but feels complicated. There's just something so memorable about it, even if this level is gonna feel practically unplayable to modern gamers who are used to nice things like mission objectives that make sense. This level impresses by combining stealth, exploration, and a fun scripted escape at the end after placing all the bombs on giant tanks our 00 agent was sent to destroy. It's the first level in the game that gave us the keys to solve it ourselves, and it's a multiplayer level we literally played to death back when multiplayer shooters were kind of rare. Get it? Get it? Rare? Nah. At number 11 is Effect and Cause in Titanfall 2. We've said it before and we'll say it again. Titanfall 2 is the best Call of Duty campaign that isn't a campaign in a Call of Duty game. You could pick any mission from this game and stick it on a legendary levels list, but if you poll players, everyone's going to say the same mission is the best one. The level with the time travel. In Effect and Cause, you gain a special time travel gadget that blinks you between current day and the past where a major event destroyed the facility. You'll fight baffled enemy soldiers in the past and other alien threats in the present as you swap between time periods at will using the switches to solve puzzles and survive killer encounters. It's a wild concept that we haven't seen anybody else try to replicate except for a similar gimmick in another level in Dishonored 2, but like these happened at both like pretty much the same time, so unless they were communicating with each other, neither had any idea. We struggled not to put the Dishonored level on the list as well. This one's just a tiny bit more prominent. I don't know if I would say better, but before SSDs were common, this was really an impressive technological feat. And the way you'd use time travel to aid in the combat, the puzzle solving, the exploration, it really feels unique. Even replaying it for this video, we just wanted it to keep going. And number 10 is Liberty Island from Deus Ex, a mission statement in the original Deus Ex. The first game in the cyberpunkish conspiracy sci-fi series was a watershed moment in the immersive sim genre. Deus Ex lets you pick your approach at the start and sends you into a sandbox full of enemies. You got your hidden passages, your security systems, you got, oh man, tons of stuff. It's up to you to solve the case and stop the terrorists, and you can do that with stealth or just going in guns blazing with the world's most inaccurate gun if you'd like. Every gun is, wow, are they bad in this game. Forcing your JC Denton to take it slow and learn how to play this revolutionary game. Liberty Island isn't just about combat. You will negotiate at the end, you'll talk to some NPCs, learn more about the island, and explore later when you return to UNATCO HQ for debriefing. The same location returns in Deus Ex 2 for the climax, and when a much worse game wants to remind you the best parts of another game, you know that level has to be iconic.
Uh-oh.
Fascist. Ooh.
And number 9 is the Great Plateau from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I mean, Great Plateau is a game unto itself. It's an area you can spend hours exploring or quickly zip through, but the rewards for taking your time here are really valuable for the rest of the game. It's not just a tutorial area, it's a playground of discovery. You learn about cutting down logs, using campfires for cooking, discovering ways to stay warm in the cold as a physics test, with challenges designed to be tackled creatively thanks to your extremely limited early game tool set. Link has to finish all the shrines on the Great Plateau in order to earn his powers, and each power gives Link more ways to solve problems, like using bombs to harvest apples from trees, moving a big chunk of metal to make a seesaw. I mean, there's some crazy stuff that you just never saw before in a game, and yet none of it was really out of place either. Like, it all kind of felt, oh hey, this is just what this is. Like, it's kind of stripped down in a weird way. There's no voice like yelling, hey listen, every 5 seconds, but it's also teaching you how to play the game and introducing you to stuff that makes Breath of the Wild a revolutionary game. And number 8 is surface tension in Half-Life. This is when the game kicks into high gear. The first Half-Life was like playing through an action movie. The tight pacing and constant scripted sequences make it feel very cinematic experience, I guess, but also one you barely survive. It's insanely linear, but it's too much fun to care. Like, people who don't like linear stuff, I don't think that it would even bother them. It's just everything comes together, and you reach the sun-baked surface of the Black Mesa Research Facility in surface tension, and the soldiers are not there to help you. This is the level with the helicopter. Oh, the part with the helicopter. I've talked to countless people who have said it that way. After fighting through the dam and dodging a giant underwater alien, you'll have a desert to cross, guarded by blind alien worms. And then you have to sprint over a precarious cliff face. The aliens are deadly, but the humans are the real danger here. The soldiers had really impressive AI for the time and can still kick our asses really fast. The attack chopper that scans the cliffs, that's the biggest problem. And there's a real sense of catharsis after ducking and dodging gunfire to reach the awesome laser-guided missile launcher at the end of the road. This level throws everything at you all at once. And it's one of the best roller coaster rides in video games. People are still talking about this one more than 25 years later. And number 7 is the tanker in Metal Gear Solid 2. The best part of this game is also one of the best parts of video games, period. The tanker incident is a tiny slice of what makes the Metal Gear series so special. The opening cutscene with Solid Snake using his advanced camo to board the tanker, still a great reintroduction to the character. And then dealing with the mercenary forces that invaded, all the way to the enemy AI that had advanced since the first game. The PS2 pumped out way more graphical prowess and shows how the rain cascades off the interior. Honestly, it looks good now, even when it's not upscaled to HD. But by the way, when it is, it could easily pass for like a retro-themed modern game, and people might say that's a little bit too advanced for the time. There's almost too much to talk about here. Infamous examples of over-engineering the early parts of the game, they're very, very apparent. The ice that melts in real time and exists for no other purpose other than to look cool. There's a boss fight that takes advantage of the new first-person perspective. a sneaking sequence where you hilariously walk past entire crowds of soldiers that don't notice you. It's absurd, it's awesome, and detailed in a way only Hideo Kojima games pull off. At number 6 is Central Yarnum in Bloodborne, one of the most intricately designed locations in any game. Central Yarnum is the starting area of Bloodborne and is an incredible introduction to gaming's spookiest city. Unlike other games in the sort of Souls series, I guess, it's not technically a series, but it's from Software, and we kind of look at it all as Souls games. But the city of Yarnum isn't a medieval hovel. It's a massive post-industrial city with towering structures that surround the player on all sides, boxing you in and making this expansive location feel especially claustrophobic. The streets are packed with roaming hunters, humans that have slowly succumbed to the very curse they're trying to fight, with more frightening things in hidden corners. Central Yarnum is also the most difficult starting location compared to other Dark Souls games. Maybe one of the, but I think probably the. It gives you barely a chance to learn the new aggressive combat features before throwing you directly into the deep end. Central Yarnum connects to almost every major location in the game world. You'll be able to return here through the Cursed Forest or reach the very top of the world. The starting area of the clinic can be accessed from behind much later in the game, and it unlocks a very creepy side quest, revealing one of the first extraterrestrial creatures in the game. Yarnum itself is an incredibly spooky location, but the starting area might as well be considered the best, I think, when it comes to pure atmosphere. The insane voices behind locked doors, the mobs of twisted killers, and the way the world slowly changes as you progress. By night, the voices go silent, and eventually much, much stranger things reveal themselves as eyes inside your mind open themselves to the reality of this world, as if these games are not bleak enough. At number 5 is the Clockwork Mansion from Dishonored 2. Remember, I said we struggled not putting the time travel level in here? Yeah, the Clockwork Mansion, we just had to go with that one, right? So it's not only the best level in the game, it is a marvel in game design. It's a seemingly boring mansion when you enter at the start of the level, and it reveals itself in layers, peeling away rooms until you've learned that the entire structure is an automated maze. Entire rooms reconfigure and appear out of the floor. You don't even need to follow the most straightforward path to the end. You'll eventually get the chance to sneak into the inner workings of the mansion and slip between all the gears, revealing how everything works. And it all actually works. You can watch the mansion rooms assemble themselves in real time and slot themselves away after flipping switches.
Hello, are you there? I can't sense your weight on the floors or the sounds of your breathing anymore, but it seems like a reasonable guess that somehow you've gotten beyond the inner walls of the house.
You have to navigate to the hidden employee-only areas of the mansion to rescue your target, and you'll quickly discover the giant mechanical guardians that protect the owner of the mansion and your assassination target. It's a mind-blowing mission that deserves all of the accolades it gets. I don't think we've ever seen another level that's this intricate before in video games, and we might not see another for a long time. At number 4 is New Donk City in Mario Odyssey. New Donk City is where Mario Odyssey just gets weird. Nintendo's absurdly protective of the Mario IP. Even the famously tight-lipped designers of these games have expressed frustration that they're not allowed to do anything creative when making new Mario games. For once, the developers were given a little license to be weird, though. With the totally normal-looking humans of New Donk City, a strangely photorealistic world that looks a whole lot like a platformer version of New York City. You can jump rope with oddly formal businessmen or bounce off the top of taxis to reach the top of skyscrapers. Climbing the Capitol building is the biggest challenge on the stage. It's just a silly, weird place. It's not necessarily correct feeling, and that really aids the weirdness of it. I mean, it's just one of those places where there's nothing else like it in a Mario game, and for whatever reason, despite the fact that it's kind of uncomfortable for some reason, it also feels awesome to play and play around in. And number 3 is City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2. The first level of Sonic Adventure 2 is the rush of adrenaline we wanted from a Sonic game. The bright, sunny fun with a rampaging giant truck plowing through the whole city, stopping a fugitive hedgehog from escaping. Well, not actually stopping, but trying to. Sonic Adventure 2 was frankly a bonkers storyline that doesn't matter at all because the opening slaps us in the face and forces us to start snowboarding down the streets of a fake San Francisco while frickin' Crush 40 does their weird facsimile of like pop punk and butt rock. I don't know, it's still an adrenaline rush today. The level's been recreated over and over as Sonic gets more nostalgic in recent games. There's a good reason for it. It's just a really memorable level. The giant truck is what we want from Sonic games. Absurdity and speed to the max. And number 2 is the clock tower from Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The most difficult area in this game is also the most nostalgic, even if it gives us nostalgia from having nightmares about floating Medusa heads, knocking us off platforms. The clock tower is the biggest roadblock you encounter in this game. It's technically the area before the last. The difficulty spike keeps you out of the castle keep where Dracula is waiting for a final boss fight. Everyone already knows there's an inverted castle now, but back on the first playthrough we thought we were going to the end. And for good reason, because the clock tower is a nightmare. The level blocks progress completely. You need to double jump across the incredibly annoying opening bridge, and you'll need way better equipment to survive the frankly obnoxious number of enemies that spawn from both sides of the screen, ready to knock Alucard out like a rag doll. At least the music's one of the best tracks in the game, and the boss is absurdly easy. Normally, we'd expect a mummy at the end of the clock tower like in the classic games, but you have to fight a weird bird person that doesn't live up to the level that was just there. It's still one of the most memorable locations in a game that's all iconic levels. And finally, at number 1, it's E1M1, the hangar from Doom. The most infamous level in video games, E1M1 has to be the most iconic video game level, along with level 1-1 of Super Mario Bros. On NES. I would say this level is arguably more memorable than that. Doom isn't the first FPS, but it's the inflection point for the genre of the first-person shooter. It's the game everyone wanted to copy because it's just that good. The first level looks pretty crude compared to the modern games, obviously, but it has this unique charm to it. It's a recognizable place, even if it doesn't really look like anything or make any sense. It's not a barren, empty room. There's computer screens and windows and a pool to greet you. The iconic stairs to the left are seared into our brain. What really pushes this level over the edge are the secrets, though. The biggest one is the ability to go into that big area outside the windows by flipping a secret button or opening a door that doesn't match the rest of the walls to collect some extra gear. It's a trick none of the other levels really do, and it's a level that built the legendary status of the Doom series. It doesn't look like much now, and it's pretty simple, but it's absolutely burned into the memory of anybody who experienced it after not realizing what was possible, so to speak. Give us some cardboard, we could rebuild this level from scratch. And that's 20 levels that we think earned legendary status. It's only a tiny cross-section of our favorites, so let us know what you think belongs on this list for when we make another. We could easily rattle off 20 more. Just remember, they gotta be legendary. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter, @FalconTheHero. We'll see you next time, right here on gameranx.